much you can do. Be who you were meant to be. Peaceful Warriors Wellness. Feel better, move better, be better. Peaceful Warriors.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Feel Better, Move Better, Be Better movement session on Monday, the 14th of December. It's a beautiful day, slightly chilly and windy out there, and a little overcast, but still better than snow, right? So my name is Scott Roberts. My wife and I own Peaceful Warriors Wellness Center here in downtown St. Petersburg. We're located at 19 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Street South. We can be found online at www.peacefulwarriorswellness.com. You can always give us a call at 727-822-8866. And I know that this is 30 minutes early today. We have a lot that's going to be going on here in the office early this morning. So I decided to get a little bit of a head start, and hopefully that's okay for all of you viewers out there. It will be available and recorded for you to watch anytime later today or this week or whenever you get to it. It'll be fine. So let's go ahead and get started. Please grab yourself a rope, strap, belt, something of that nature that doesn't have any elasticity to it. If that's all you do have is an elastic band, then that'll be fine. That's still better than not using anything at all. And let's go ahead and just start off with an overhead stretch. Just reach for the sky. Come up onto your toes even. Just very much like that first thing in the morning stretch. When you get out of bed, sometimes you just want to just open it all up. All right, let's go ahead and go into a left-hand side bend. So your feet should be a little bit more than shoulder width apart. And you're just going to lean your body over to the left as far as you can. Remember to exhale as you stretch. One more to that side, then we'll go to the right side. Good job. Bring your arms down to shoulder height out in front of you. And we're going to rotate our chest and head, arms to the left as far as you can go. All the way back around to the right. 3 times to each side. This is number 2. Last one. Good. Now we're going to open up the shoulders individually. So let's go ahead and go with the right hand up overhead, strap back behind you. You're going to reach back behind you with your left hand so that when I reach between my shoulder blades, I then can use that strap to assist at the end and create a stretch. Stretch, reaching as far as you can and release. Reach and release. All right, let's switch ends here. We're going to go with the right hand down to the belt line, to the waistline. Strap over your left shoulder, reaching up between your shoulder blades with your right hand, assisting with the strap at the end. Good. The next stretch we're going to do is going to address shoulder rotation. So you want your elbow up at shoulder height and your elbow bent at 90 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the shoulder so your elbow stays in the same spot. And we're going to reach back as far as we can with our right hand and assist with the left. Open the front of that right shoulder. Good. Let's do the same stretches on the left side. Reach up overhead, right hand back behind you. Reach between your shoulder blades with your left hand from the top. reach, and release. Good. Now bring that left hand down to the belt line. Strap over your right shoulder, reaching up in between your shoulder blades with your left hand. Good. Elbow up at shoulder height, 90-degree bend. Rotate that shoulder, reaching back behind you with your left hand as far as you can. Assisting with a strap back behind you. Open that shoulder. Good. Drape that strap around the back of your neck. Find yourself a spot on the wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our palm flat on the wall, fingers pointing back behind you. Okay, so your wrist should be pointing out in front of you. We're going to step forward with the opposite foot, in this case the left. And now I'm going to push forward with my hips and rotate my chest away from the wall. And release. Engage back into the stretch. One more. And let's reverse it. Left hand on the wall, step forward with the right foot. Push forward with your hips and turn your chest away. Wonderful. All right, now we're going to get down on the floor and we're going to do some stretches using the legs to help open up the hips and lower back. I like to use the stretch out strap because it has these pre-sewn in loops in here. It makes it really easy just to hang it right over the toes of your foot. If you happen to have a belt or a rope or something like that that doesn't have these pre-sewn in loops, you're just going to take the rope or belt around the ball of your foot like this. And you'll have two different ends here. You can either put them in the same hand or use two hands, but I prefer to use one. A lot of times it's nice just to be able to put that hand on your knee just to help remind yourself to keep it straight. So here we're lifting the right leg towards the right shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the loop because I can. Good. Now we're going to take the strap, or if you happen to have two ends, around the inside of your ankle and under the calf. What that's going to do is it's going to turn your toes in a little bit, and you're going to pull that leg up and then engage help with the strap at the end towards your nose. We're going to unwrap the strap from underneath our leg and go around to the outside of the ankle and back under the leg again. That's going to turn your toes out to the outside. Now we're going to lift that leg towards the left shoulder. And by doing the rotations and the different angles, you're actually stretching each of the three hamstrings that are on the back of the thigh individually. So you're going to get a much more thorough and complete stretching of these muscles back here than you would if you were just to do the one hamstring stretch by itself. Okay? So straighten out both your legs. We're going to lift the right leg just high enough to scissor across the top of the left, keeping your hips flat on the floor. Pulling that right leg across to the left as far as you can, stretching the outside of the right hip. Now we're going to bring that leg up to 45 degrees, stretching different muscles because we've changed the angle. And across and release. Next, we're going to bring that leg up to 90 degrees, or as close to 90 as you're able to get, and across. Now you'll notice that I'm doing 3 repetitions of each of these stretches. This is not a magical number. It's the minimum, I think, of any stretch that should be done. But there will be stretches that will feel really good or feel really necessary for you, and you should do more repetitions of those stretches. Okay? Undo the strap. Let's go back around the inside of the ankle and underneath the calf. I'm going to lift my right heel just off the floor and pull that right leg out to the right as far as we can. Good. Bend both your knees. Let's bring that right ankle up onto your left knee. I'm going to take the strap off of the ball of my foot here and set that to the side real quick. Reach up with your right hand behind the knee and pull that knee as close to your chest as you're able to get it. Reach up with your left hand and pull that shin in your foot towards the left shoulder. Good. Now we're going to go through the same stretches using the left leg that we just did with the right. So take the strap around the ball of your foot. Let's straighten out that left leg and lift it straight towards the left shoulder. Around the inside of the ankle, turning your toes in by default towards the nose. And out from underneath the leg all the way around to the outside of the ankle and back under again. Now turn your toes out. Now we're going to lift that leg towards the right shoulder. Good job. Take the strap all the way around to the inside of your ankle. Now we're going to pull that left leg out to the left, keeping the leg straight. I skipped some stretches here, but we're going to go back to them in just a second. Sorry about that. All the way out to the left as far as you can. Doing half of a split. Good. So let's go back to the outside of the ankle. I got to do these scissor stretches on this leg, otherwise I'll be going in circles all day long with only half of it done, right? So we went around the outside of the ankle, under the calf. Let's scissor that left leg across. I like to do them in the other order because then I don't have to go change the strap alignment another time. So lift, scissor across, keeping your hips flat. Up to 45 degrees and scissor across. And now up to 90 and across. Good. Bend your knees, take your left ankle onto your right knee. You can take the strap and set it aside for now. We're done with it. We're going to take the left hand underneath the knee and pull that close to the chest. Reach up with your right hand to your shin and rotate the leg by pulling that left foot as close to the right shoulder as you can. Now you'll notice on some of these stretches it'll feel more intense on one side or the other. That is normal. It happens quite a bit. All sorts of potential reasons as to why. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and roll over onto our hands and knees. Next, we're going to stretch out the hip flexors. So come on up to your knees, step forward with your right foot. And you want that foot out in front of you a little ways, so just your heels on the floor. And what we're going to do is by keeping our chest flat and upright, push your hips forward, sinking down into the stretch, lowering your toes to the floor. You're going to get a nice stretch here across the front of the left hip. Good. One more. Good. Bring that right foot back. Put your right knee down. Step forward with your left. Push forward with your hips. Remember to keep that chest and upper body upright. Don't let yourself lean forward. And as always, we're easing into the stretch. Hold it for a couple seconds and then come back out of it. Wonderful. All right. Now we're going to engage in some exercises that will help correct some of the problems that we're having that deal with lower back pain and shoulders and neck. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is what's called dying bugs. Many people call them dead bugs, but dead bugs don't move and dying bugs still do. So here we go. Keeping your shoulders flat on the floor. Okay, when you reach for the ceiling, you don't want to lift your shoulders. For people that have rounded shoulders, it's going to be very easy for them to feel like this is a normal position. It's not. Okay, so sink those shoulders into the floor, bend your knees, lift your heels up off the floor, keeping your knees bent at 90 degrees. And now we're going to go ahead and do some movement here. And this movement's only about 6 to 8 inches. Now another thing to keep in mind is if you pull your lower back up off the floor towards your belly button, now you're going to engage your core more thoroughly. And that's the whole point of this exercise, is to train the core. Okay? Now some people will need to put their feet down and their arms down, take a couple deep breaths and come back to this movement. And that's perfectly fine. The more often that you do this, the more consistently each week that you do this, the easier this will get, the longer you'll be able to do it. And pretty soon you might be able to sit here and chat for a while you're doing it instead of trying to catch your breath. So your breathing is very, very important to train during these types of exercises. Really focus on inhaling and exhaling, taking slower, deeper breaths, and not hyperventilating. Now, for some people, this may be too much. If you have really intense back pain, that can be too much for you. So, as a regression, to make it simpler, easier, but still help you move forward, simply keep your arms down to the side, lift both heels up off the ground, set them down and tap them and come back up. Okay? If that is still more than you're able to do, then you're going to alternate right leg, left leg. Lift, set that one down, lift the left one as soon as it touches. All right. So those are ways to still be able to do this type of exercise and progress from single leg alternating to double leg to dying bugs to help strengthen the core, okay? Depending on where you're at and what you need. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to strengthen the glutes. These guys back here tend to get very weak. We sit on them too much. We also take relatively short steps. We're not taking full length strides, and the gluteus maximus stops firing properly, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to come up into a glute bridge. You're squeezing the muscles in your buttocks and lifting those hips up towards the floor. This is one of those things that you can hold and maintain and continue just to squeeze and hold. Or if you prefer, you can do repetitions. You're going to lower your hips towards the floor, and as soon as you touch, lift back up towards the ceiling. Okay? It's very important to strengthen these muscles and create the stability in the hips that are needed, because the hips are supposed to be mobile. But what happens is we lose core stability, the ability to help support the lumbar spine. The body will take the mobility away from the hips and create stability in the hips, locking them down, okay? So that's why it's so important to not only strengthen the core, but strengthen the glutes to help create that balance and stability. All right? The next exercise that I recommend that people do a lot of is what's called a belly angel. So we're going to roll over onto our stomach, lower your head, your chest is on the floor, your elbows are out, 90 degrees with your palms flat on the floor. This exercise, you're just going to flex your upper back, lifting your chest, your head, and your arms up off the ground. There we go. And back up. Back down. Hold it for a couple seconds and then lower yourself back down to the floor slowly. This is great for people that have rounded shoulders, head forward posture, the combination of which is called upper cross syndrome. Might be something that you've heard. People that are getting that hump in their upper back. Now these are exercises, this exercise you can't exactly do while you're at work. So what do you do during the day that will help you while you're sitting at your desk? While you're sitting there, make sure that your posture is right, you're sitting upright. Pull your arms out to the side, rotate your hands so that your palms are up, and let's squeeze between your shoulder blades. Try to make your thumbs go back together. They never will. Your arms will not allow for that movement. But just to kind of give you an idea of which direction you want to be moving, palms up and squeeze and point your thumbs back behind you. Okay? So this is an exercise you can do anywhere. You can do it standing, you can do it seated. All right? So that is a great way to get your body prepared for your day and to relieve the common symptoms that people have. Thank you for joining me, and please join me again on Wednesday. I'll be back on at 8:30 on Wednesday instead of the early time that I did today. So hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on Wednesday.